to the very first episode of the Cellar Door. It's my second shot at a show, and if you watched the last one, thanks for coming back to this one. And if this is your first episode with me, I realize it may be your last. But I'm going to try to make it better and more fun by changing the format up a little bit. I'm not just going to review movies. I will be reviewing movies, obviously, but I'm also going to try to have roundtable discussions with other live people, debates on current topics, movie news. I'm going to introduce you to some new trailers maybe, and then what we're going to try today, which is a my favorites list. Today I'm going to kick it off since it's kind of seasonal, try to do my top 4 favorite horror movies of all time. Now, keep in mind I say favorite, so some of the classics might not be there and people might be upset because there's going to be, I'm not representing Freddy or Jason or Michael Myers or the most iconic movie shower scene of all time, American History X. All staples in the horror community, but like I said, I'm going more with favorites, so this is more about like repeat value and entertainment than it is classics. So thanks for tuning into this one, and let's get right into it. Kick it off with number 4. One of my favorite things about horror movies are all the different types there are out there. All the little subgenres and categories of horror movies that can be a different one each time. Slasher movies, or supernatural movies, or ones about possession, or like those fingers through my hair, that sly come hither stare, it strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft. Witchcraft! Which brings me to the number 4 film on my list, 2015's The Witch. Now this will be the most recently made film on my list, and also the most likely that you haven't seen. But the movie's amazing. It takes place in the 1600s. It's about a priest and his family get exiled from their town, end up having to move out into the woods. But once this family gets out into these woods, bad things start to happen. That begin with, but aren't limited to, the disappearance of the family's infant son. Now, like I said, I think this movie is awesome, but there is a shot that you will hate it for just the same reason that I like it, and that is the word of the day, dialect. That's your movie term of the day. Now, dialect pertains more to not what's being said, but how they're saying it. And there's a very specific dialect. It's the religious 1600s.
He had disappeared, not 1 week past, yet you and Mother utter not his name.
He's gone, Caleb.
Tell me,
Tell thee what?
is he an L?
Now, the good news about this film is you're going to know if you love it or hate it less than 3 minutes into it. Just a terrific, terrific movie. Number 4 on my list, The Witch. All right. Now for our third film, we're going to go back into the 1990s. Back into the 1990s. Hang on 1 second. Sorry. 1 quick second. Yeah?
Hello.
Hey, what can I do for you?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Well, that's a random question. Kind of topical. I'm actually shooting a YouTube show right now on my top 4 favorite horror movies of all time.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Well, I'm not going to give that away. People that are watching it are, I don't want to spoil it for them. They're, going to hang on till the end.
You have to have a favorite.
No, I can't. I can't tell you. Look, I can send you a link for YouTube if you want to watch it. But I'm going to have to hang up, all right?
You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?
Okay. Okay. Little harsh. Number 3 is Scream.
I like that movie. It was scary.
Now, what a fun movie this was back in '96 when it came out. I remember seeing it in the theater and just being blown away on how entertained I was by it. For me, it's not so much the scares in this one. It's not a scary movie, but it's very entertaining. I mean, it's basically a paint-by-number slasher flick with, the teenagers behaving badly, the drugs, the sex, and the main innocent girl whose friends are being picked off one at a time. It's basically your trope slasher horror film. But it kind of celebrates that, and that's what makes it cool. I remember I saw it in the theater, and I was so excited by it. I had gone with a girl to see it. Thank you. And it was so awesome that the next day I took a different girl to see the same movie. One movie, two girls. Don't worry. Neither one of them are watching this show right now, so we're safe. Now, the legacy of Scream may be tainted just a little bit by a bunch of bad sequels that came out, and then the popularity of the spoof of it, the Scary Movie, the Wayans Brothers movies, kind of it takes away from the legacy a little bit. But if you look at the original Scream on its own, I think it still really holds up as being really entertaining, like a good party movie. You can watch it in a group. It's quotable, and it had the twist ending, and it was just really a lot of fun, and it really still holds up today. My number 3 favorite, Scream. What the hell? What the hell was that? Oh, Jesus. I'm so scared right now to tell you what my second favorite horror movie of all time is. And I just want to say I'm sorry that this episode is so bad. What's the second favorite movie, Josh? Tell us what it is, Josh. Oh, forget it. I'm out of here. Oh.
And the Oscar goes to...
My second favorite horror movie of all time is The Blair Witch Project. Blair Witch Project, my second favorite horror movie of all time. Now, the genius of this film was the way they decided to market it, as if it was real. I thought it was real. Back when it was coming out, they released it as exactly what the movie said it was. Found footage of missing campers who went into the woods shooting a documentary and didn't come back. And this is the footage that was found. I bought into that. Totally naive, partially an idiot, but I was all in on it. I wanted to plan a trip to Maryland to check out these woods just to see what would happen if we had gone there.
Okay!
Probably never would have happened. Would not have got out of the car. And I know the problem that some people have with this movie. It's the handheld camera. They say it makes them sick. But that was the genesis of the movie. That was it. They were shooting it themselves. You didn't need special effects. You didn't need all this side story. It was them shooting it themselves. And who hasn't been creeped out while being in the woods? I think everybody could identify with it. It was just perfectly done. I think it still holds up with the good scares. And like I said, it's psychological scares. It's not jump scares. It's not over the top. You don't see crazy kills or gore. And before you're too hard on this movie, picture this. It gave birth to an entire genre of movies. The found footage film was basically born with the Blair Witch Project. There may have been something before that. Somebody may put it in the comments, oh, there was so-and-so. This birthed found footage. This is the big found footage. This paved the way for everything else found footage, which I think is a terrible genre. But this did it perfectly. And as with Scream, some terrible sequels, which I won't even quantify in this. On its own, Blair Witch Project, my number 2 favorite of all time. Okay, if you already know me, you may know what my number 1 favorite horror movie is of all time. But just in case you don't, can I have the envelope, please? This is the wrong envelope. It says Best YouTube Show. Well, let's open it since we've got it. You. Me, I've won Best YouTube Show? Really? With the like 6 people that are watching this? I won? I didn't even realize I was nominated for anything. I mean, you put these shows on, and sometimes you don't know who's watching, or if anybody's gonna care, or even get it, or if maybe they're just all gonna laugh at you. And what is she doing? Oh my God! Do you ever have an idea that looks so good on paper when you came up with it, and then you just go ahead and do it, and then you're wondering if it was really all worth it? My number 1 favorite horror movie of all time, Stephen King's Carrie. Now this movie haunted me as a kid. I was deathly afraid and convinced Carrie's mother was always in my bathroom behind the door with a knife. Sometimes today I still think that. She was a nut. And it's maybe the most iconic movie scene of all time, the prom. And it's the ultimate revenge. It's not just the couple of girls who pranked her. I mean, it's the whole high school. You get to die at the prom. You get to die at the prom. You get to die at the prom. Even the teacher who tried to be nice to her basically gets cut in half. And the scene is just shot perfectly by Brian De Palma. You get the great walk home covered in blood. But then she gets home, all she wants to do is take her bath, clean up, tell her mother she was right the whole time and she was sorry. And what does she get? Stabbed in the back by her crazy mother, which this scene freaked me out more than any other. That was just nuts. Piper Laurie is crazy in this movie, and it still stays with me. I think it still holds up as being scary. The music was great. It's enough to scare you on its own. They did that terrible remake, which I saw, and I gave it a shot. There was no reason to make it. This movie was perfect, stands alone on its own. And it's just, for me, it's classic. Anytime I see it on TV, I'm stopping, I'm watching it, and it's going to scare me. My number 1 favorite of all time, Carrie. Well, how about that? You made it to the end of the episode. Congratulations, and thank you, the ones who made it all the way to the end. The 2 or 3 of you that made it. That was episode 1 of Cellar Door. This is my new show. I'm going to try to keep it going weekly, maybe, if I can keep it up. Now, I want to add, like I said, I want to bring in other people for debates and discussions and trailer discoveries and shoot some shows with actual live other people. I have 3 people in mind. You know who you are. Pick a show topic you want to do. Get it to me, and let's film it. And just thanks for watching. Watch the next one, and don't miss the previews.
However, before satisfaction would be mine, first things first. Wiggle your big toe. Hard part's over. Now, let's get these other piggies wiggling.